to another Danganronpa. Today, hopefully, we can finish the second trial. Well, so I just don't have but that's fine. Come on, Orf?
Danganronpa.
I want to continue our investigation. So what are we doing? I have no idea. I forgot. What do you mean by that? Like, be a cure, do you be a sap? Not quite. Surely I want to reveal Shihiro kill, but more precisely, I want to discover the true identity of Genocide Jack. Then, you would think you do believe Genocide Jack is the one that killed Shihiro?
Don't make me repeat
Absolutely,
myself.
I know Dr. Genocide Jack is the culprit in the case, and have a basis to believe that. I assure you, Genocide Jack is one of us. Either way, proof. There's somewhere I like to take you. This will provide all the evidence you need.
It's all clear
I
now.
imagine Jack is the one that killed Chihiro. Evidence. So something like that, really. I hate you two. Bit trouble. Need your help.
I don't have time to play
Busy.
with you.
Leave us alone.
I
But
mean...
it's an emergency. Come on, please. You gotta help me.
Please!
This is a serious emergency. Please, you gotta help me. So calm down, okay?
I mean...
But it's an emergency. An emergency. What happened?
Well...
Something wrong with Toko. She acted super strange. Well, I mean, she will have to play strange warrior, right? What should we do?
Very strange.
So, Toko, I'm gonna admit, I'm intrigued. I suppose we'll take a second to see what going on with her. Are you sure?
Don't make me repeat myself.
Don't make me repeat myself. I did expect that. I was sure he was gonna say no and not be the end of it.
Yeah!
Okay, come on, wait. Wait for Hina.
Let's go.
Go like to see how to do the doors to Toko room, most likely. You right. Alright, Toko room is... Still going inside? Some kind of emergency. No, ring the doorbell. Yeah, we need to ring the doorbell, come on. Can't ring the doorbell. How do you open this? Okay, too slow. Hold on, come feel. I think it's just too fast. So, what's the emergency?
So,
Well, after what happened in the girl's locker room, we left no Toko in the room. She just lay down. After a while, we came back to check on her. You know, see how she was doing, but when we did, it was weird. She refused to come out, and she kept saying all the weird stuff. Weird stuff.
That's fine.
We should try talking to her ourselves. Yeah, good idea. I mean, well, give it a shot. The door is swung open slowly and silently. No, it's swung open, but okay. Oh, holy crap. And another cavity flowed off behind the door, forcing a gasp out of me.
What? Oh, nothing. It's just that, Hina was really worried about you, holding yourself up in your room.
leave me alone.
Yeah, sure thing. But, could you open up, just for a second?
Won't allow it.
Huh?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control.
Enjoy that? She slammed the door in my face. Oh, what was that? She's been acting like that the whole time when I rang a little while ago. Oh, to drive out the killer. Drive out the Buddhist fiend. It doesn't make any sense, right? I was afraid to leave her in there alone, so I tried to bust down her door. But I felt like something holding me shut on the other side. I couldn't even budge it. Toko was scared enough to even bar her door. Does she think the same thing that Byakura? Does she think the serial killer showing us that Roy murdered Chihiro? Is that why Toko's so scared?
But...
Whatever it is, I'm really worried about her. Isn't there anyone who might be able to persuade her? Yeah, boy. Okay, you need to help. Hey, Byakura, you think you could ask her to come out of her room, I mean?
That's fine.
So, whatever.
Huh?
Hey, you gonna talk to her, Byakura? Oh, I guess you can be nice when you want to. Byakura stood in front of the door, not making a sound, and pressed the doorbell. After a few moments,
What do you want?
leave me alone. You're so annoying. Bakula.
It's Byakuya.
I'm sorry, Byakuya. I'm sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. Don't worry, never again. I want Genocide Jack have control over her. With that, it was them set. Even Byakuya couldn't pull it off. Then I figured what we can do. Let's get back to the investigation. But hold on. Hey, Byakuya, what we're talking about it now. Something about a promise?
What?
Oh, I have no idea. Another one of her delusions, sure. But
Stop
if you say
talking.
it I don't know. That means I don't know. So let he take care of her. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll stay here and keep an eye on her.
Let's go.
Well then, let's go. Well, waiting for Eddie to reply. Byakuya sped away. Byakuya! And I waited to catch up. I tried to talk to him several times we walked, but he didn't even look back, let alone say anything. Just kept walking toward his destination. Finally, if he brought him to a stop in front of a shuttered room. The library? Come on, let's go in. Is the everything I proves it was since Jack away in the library?
Don't make me repeat
Don't
myself.
make me say it again. Alright, what maybe? There's no point checking there. We need to find the real clues. The archive? If I remember, on the other side of the door, it's the archive, right? Hurry up and go inside. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
It all makes sense when you're inside. Whoa, there's so many books and files, and so much dust
So,
too.
in other words,
Actually, there's enough value in the place to enjoy the dust. Look at the books. Some of the stuff was tight with fire. Oh, what are you thinking about it? I took one out random. Oh, you have a sharp eye. Indeed, it's not that file. Huh?
that's right.
That we put on the presidential assassination. The original kept at the National Library. Won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There are tiny whose crosshairs you might line up and for peeking at it. Without making a sound, and return the file to the shelf. There's so many file stuff on the shelf. Well, and all
That's
these
enough.
things. The documents are dangerous. The dangers. They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Danger too for a common. You mean like members of the Dio or something? No, I mean the one with willpower, the secret council, doing everything for the shadows. The Illuminati. If you ready to read this bit, boy, take a look up. There are some very interesting people in there. You're just kidding, right? Am I? I'll just let it go for now. There are a ton of thick file stuff under the bookshelf. Are you thinking of looking through any of them? Let me give you a little warning. Those things are filled with graphics. They're still being put for all kind of crime scenes. The kind of thing any knowing person would ever want to look at. Be careful. Huh? What do you mean? All the file. There are investigation reports related to different cold cases. There are internal documents for police eyes only. They're not the kind of thing you expect to leak. Oh. The wooden box. It's empty. All the chain for the submerged in the dust. Like there was something inside. I wonder what it was. There was an extension cord plug in there. It felt very useful while in the library. An extension cord, huh?
That's right.
Oh, what up here? Oh, this one camera. Oh, there's something here. Huh? It's a desk lamp. Oh yeah, the same one I saw Byakuya using in the library before.
What?
Do you have a problem with that lamp? It was here before, then I moved it over there. It's too dark over there, so I thought I'd put it in good use. So are you finally beginning to understand the true splendor of the library? The entire reason I'm interested in the library is because this room right here. The home of the classified
Interesting.
government documents, police records, things no ordinary person would ever see. Isn't it magnificent? Magnificent. This can't be for real, right?
Such
Thank you guys,
ignorance.
Papa. Anything that doesn't fit into your preconceived reality, you label it a lie. Well, not that. It's just not like I would totally refuse to believe it, but I mean, there's just so much. How can anyone have put that all together? I just feel good to show us how much Hope Peaks truly willed, or perhaps the mastermind may have wanted to fight with enough entertainment to keep up with getting boy. No use. I can't keep up with all this. It's just too unreal. What's wrong? You still can't believe it? What about you? How can you believe it so easily? Things like that are usually impossible.
What?
What do you mean usually? Usual, normal, ordinary, sample? The things don't exist anywhere in the real world. You don't understand what they actually represent. You don't understand the nature of anything. You don't feel your punches, do you? Besides, what do you consider usual based on your common sense, right? or at least your own common sense applies to me at all. The documents scattered here are genuine. I have reviewed them multiple times, so there are no doubts. But hold on a second, saying you read all the documents more than once? But all they have to be like top secret confidential stuff, right? So why? My family had a reading room set like this at our home. I was bigger, of course, and not at Dusty. Huh? Members of the Tukami family had access to any variety of government-related documents that include foreign powers or as well as domestic. How is that possible?
So, in other
I
words,
told you that there are secret councils that control the world from their salaries. My family is a member of that council. I have within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. But to become such a ruler, I must know all of the world backwards and forwards. So when I have time, I like to review whatever documents and material that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim without doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byaku had actually started to scare me more than the actual mastermind. And what always interests me the most was the cold case police investigation report. But even though through those reports have always been a hobby of mine ever since I was a little extra mental exercise. I saw more than a few of those cases by reviewing the reports. And among all the reports, one of my recent favorites is the Genocide Jack case. At a talk, Byaku got a specific file for himself.
that's right.
This is a complete case file. Every single report citing the Genocide Jack case have been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are two notable kill listic in every Genocide Jack murder. The first kill listic is that at every crime scene the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. And the second is that when the victim murdered, the body is suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood, and the victim body is suspended. It's like the scene of what happened to Shihiro. Save your surprise, the best part yet to come. But the second kill listic, the victim was suspended. The only one who know about the particular fact were members of the police and other higher-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. Huh? In other words, no one on the news, no one online, nobody knew about the aspect of each crime. Only key official and the killer himself knew about the act of mounting the victim. Now, if we call Shihiro corpse, her body was most certainly mounted in a fashion. So, how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
That's right.
That's the key question. In fact, the answer is very simple.
So, in other
The
words,
culprit ever isn't a copycat killer. It's the real Genocide Jack.
in other words,
That right, the evidence Genocide Jack is hidden himself. I'm wrong, the rest of us. But then Genocide Jack really is just a brutal Phoenix killer way of walking around among us.
interesting.
This is where he's trying to get interested, aren't they? I never imagined killer with such a reputation will ever become part of our little game. Now, don't you think it would be good for you to take a go look at what I've seen already? Seen? Once it managed to fill it out a clue or two.
Such ignorance.
If you get down on your knees and beg, I may even show you myself. Byaku, about the Genocide Jack case file, can you let me see it?
That's
Well,
fine.
you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here, but you can't take it with you. What a case of Genocide Jack, top secret. Byaku handed me the file, and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly, my hand stopped. I had reached a page where a photo from the scene of each crime had all been collected. The name of Genocide Jack ran out of several pages. Kanhiro Hiwata, 32. Tetsuhiro Hondo, 17. Shoji Gaku, 23. Kano Issei, 14. Takeshi Yoshida, 30. Kamasuno Taru, Takafumi Gunno Uchida, Mabashina, Takeshi Masamuno, Yuto, Yamashina. There was none enter. When one thing became perfectly clear out of it, all the killer victims were killed and suspended exactly the same way. And after seeing every murder, the word bloodlust was wrapped in the victim's own blood. Now take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page. Fulfilling results. All the crimes took place either on weekdays at night or during holidays, either day or night. When the common time for fulfilling to take place on holidays in the afternoon. Based on the facts, it could be suspected that the suspect may be a student. Evidence of that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness had never come forward. There might be any external reason for this. This confused behavior suggests that the suspect may potentially suffer from dislocated identity disorder.
So, in other
The
words,
key point here is that the culprit may well have a split personality. The split personality, like the kind of thing you see on TV. So I'm part of another totally unbelievable story. That one is way more unbelievable than anything else up to now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know. I feel like my mind like on numb. So change our check clock. Kids file have been added to two boy sesame handle.
Let's go.
Alright, we should get going now. Huh? Where are we going? Anyway, but here, we finished our business here, haven't we? Oh wait, Byakuya. As usual, Byakuya turned in left like another wood. I hurried out of the library to catch up. Well, this is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. Huh? So all of a sudden like that.
I don't have time to
Come on,
play
enough
with
of
you.
your annoying apprehensions. Did you really think we'd be together the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Do this investigation forward on your own.
Goodbye.
Well, goodbye. And so like that, he was gone. So I quickly, maybe joined him, he cut me off. In the end, I felt like I was just some plaything getting tossed around. At the same time, I uncovered some really important clues things to him. Genocide's Jack. He the one that killed Chihiro, and that mother's fiend is one of us. But who is it? I have to find out no matter what it takes. And to do that, there's somewhere I have to go. Investigate one more time. I have to go back to the crime scene. This girl's locker room, so check the boys' locker room too. And the others might have to come up with some info. I find useful all that matter. I need to find out everything I can. Map. Alright, we need to go to the locker room. Oh, no, wait. Exactly here. Alright, we need to go to. I discovered evidence. We find the identity of the
I
culprit.
feel as if...
Understand, increase for me. Evidence. What do you find? I feel I said, yeah.
That's
So
it.
I killed
I'm sure of it.
Steal the kill, but thin lungs. I show you about that. Oh yeah, listen. One of the said she witnessed the evil fall too. Boy, what did she see?
Well,
She
it
didn't tell me.
would
Okay,
seem-
When a girl bullies the boy's slugs, right? Right. Okay, so where's she last right now? The way out by the door. See what they're but at the same time not there. But it's gonna be. What it's gonna be? Right. So she is in the warehouse. Let me go the other way. Let me check the scene of the crime.
Damn.
Chihiro was especially weak, her body and her soul.
No forgiveness.
To target such a helpless being is unforgivable. What a wretched beast you such a thing. I cannot forgive this. I know. Hey Kyoko, have you made any progress in your
Indeed.
investigation? Generally speaking.
However,
If I have to get going, I have something related to take care of. Something beside the investigation? What is it?
well,
Nothing you need to worry about. So I'm concentrating on the motive. But
so then,
before I go, let me give you one piece of advice. Is to examine Chihiro body one more time thoroughly. Also, handbook and machine. I want to determine the whereabouts.
goodbye.
That I will be praying for your success. With that, Kyoko turned and left the girls' locker room. I guess I'll take another look at the body then. And Chihiro handbook and missing. That's definitely worrying about. Chihiro handbook and I did a truth bullet session handbook. And Martin though. Dude had a real complex about being weak. You heard Chihiro talk about it, right? Oh, I need to get stronger. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I do remember she said something that once. Sure did, which I guess playing a trip down here. But did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl after all. Most girls aren't that strong. I don't know, man. Have you really thought about that stuff? Chihiro complex. Where did it come from? One more body thoroughly. No. Kyoko said to examine the body one more time. I know she said thoroughly, but I do have my limits. I better give it a shot anyway. Let's see. Chihiro hands are bound with what will be some kind of rope. The rope will be used to prop her up in the kind of prefix position. Huh? This rope had us. A plug? Wait, so then this isn't a rope at all. But the more I think about it, the more that's not the only thing that can send me. Chihiro fatal energy with the blow to the head, which means someone struck her in the head in order to kill her. That way, through that issue of her being suspended in the fatal blow. At first, I didn't see any reason to think too much about either of them. But seeing them again after looking into the sinister check file, something not quite right. What does this all mean? Instead of the dead body, I do two police sessions in handbook. Well, the one thing won't allow you to tie all the histories together is the true nature of the rope that used to suspend Chihiro. Can I figure that out? Do I shut the place? I need to revisit and look over again. Plus, it might help to look at the sinister checks file, case file one more time. There's no one to check. The bloodlust? The wood blood was on the wall in blood. So I can although change to check cases. I have times the wood bloodlust within the victim of blood. Did you know bell? There was a big blood stain on the dump on the floor. The one confessed that fit into which I got a little bit. Dump had to be the middle weapon on it. This? With a blood stain close to the blood and wood part too. Big breasted swimsuit model, pretty notables too. The girl walking does seem like the kind of place you find something like this. Give me a check. Give you.
Damn. No forgive.
Mono?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops,
Yeah.
in the hole. Yeah, we actually cool, aren't we? Monitor. What do I need to check? Check in. Oh, the blood spot on the thing. The blood stain on the carpet. It can only have to cause the Chihiro murder. Alright. Right? Yes. What's up the boy locker room too, Sam? Alrighty. Hi, poster. The popular boy band called Tornado. Survived is quite seem to fit in the boys' locker room. Oh, but wait, that remind me, the person in the adult locker room is right, there's definitely something strange about this. In the boy locker room, they'll post a popular boy band. In the girl locker room, they'll post a big breasted swimsuit model. Could the post have been switched? But that they were, why? What reason could it would ever have? They should talk to someone who would know a little more about the locker room. The locker room post have been added to the 2 accessory handbook. A little more about the locker room. Alright, nothing to look back in. I think the next one was right already. There is a strange stain on the carpet. What is it? For locker room carpet, I've added to 2 accessory handbook. Yes, alright. Let me go to the warehouse. I'm sure there must be still more left waiting for me to go. Alright. You again.
Da 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 da. I feel.
That's it. Well,
I'm Jesus, I don't know. Shotgun gun maybe. Supply can, every possibility. Trying to point list. Monitor maybe. So I can't leave still. Maybe we'll go to the pool. To the pool. I want to go to the pool. Maybe I can you again.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You again, Amy?
Of course.
I usually, every day they open up. Sometimes, I usually they gotta, okay, let me ask you something. You did a post in the boy and girl room, in the locker room, could have been switched.
I'm sorry.
So I can't really say, no way paying any attention to the posters. I see,
However,
but there is something that's been bothering me about the locker room. You see, I like to drink a lot of protein coffee every time I finish exercising. We have protein coffee in the warehouse. It's not the highest quality, but I don't have a lot of other options. I mix protein powder with coffee and down a glass of it after exercising. Anyway, the other day I spilled some on the cup in the girls' locker room and it actually stained. It stained. but I don't see any stain on the carpet now.
Of course.
Sadly, I know the oil stain had disappeared. I only assume someone came along and cleaned it up. But still, isn't it usually clean, as if there were never a stain there to begin with? Disappearing stain had been added to 2 boys since we hit the car. Now I gotta go to the warehouse. By where? One now. Library. Let me go to the warehouse. Taco right there. No, kitchen, dining hall, warehouse right there. The warehouse right there. Oh, yep, going. Let me look on a little bit. Looking some more stuff. They're all different kind of food stuff though. Not seeing anything noteworthy. They're all kind of stuff piled up everywhere. I don't see anything noteworthy. They're all kind of stuff piled up everywhere. Towels, shack, they look like they put together a good collection of school equipment. They're all kind of stuff piled up everywhere. Towel, shack, yeah. The first I can mention, I'm not seeing anything noteworthy here. Celeste, what are you doing now? This warehouse is amazing, and absolutely everything one might need to live for life, from food to clothes to towels, and endless supply to choose from. See that, but have you found anything related to the case?
Most
I knew you were
unfortunate.
going to ask me that. I thought talking about the warehouse itself might misdirect you, but I see what the point is. Then you did find something. Very well, I'll tell you only you.
Actually,
Last night I saw her here. Chihiro in the warehouse. What, really?
indeed.
This is right before nighttime.
What are you doing out this late?
Oh, I was just...
Are you planning to go exercise, perhaps?
What? How did you know?
Because I can see a blue track jacket sticking out of that duffel bag you're carrying.
Oh, you're right. Thanks. Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
She stuffed the check into her back. She stuffed the check into her back in a hole. Almost she was trying to hide it. So I dashed to her car.
Yes,
I assumed she
indeed.
was merely stalking out the grass inside the morning, but it would appear she ignored the nighttime rule and headed directly to the girls' locker room. If she had a broken out rule, none of this would have ever happened. you get what you deserve, I suppose. So apparently, she went to the girls' locker room late at night in order to exercise without anyone knowing. But the strange thing is, there were no trace of the tracks. This jacket or duffel bag, Celeste says she saw Chihiro carrying, which would mean the killer would have gotten rid of it somehow. Celeste, I can't have an attitude 2 points after your handbook. Alright. So we did all of that there. What else will we need to investigate? The dining hall? I guess. We'll talk to Hina, I guess. Oh, Hina, how's Toku doing? Say it for us, she won't come out and so keep on moaning something about genocide sack. Where's she left the bin? You left her? I was screaming. So, now we're getting pretty hungry.
Yeah!
What a way, I'm gonna head back as soon as I'm done eating. Toku's not sadly pleasant, but I'm still worried about her. Speaking of which, what are you eating?
Huh?
A donut, please. Of course. There's a thing I'm sure God created. Outer space and donuts. Really? I bet Chihiro would like to eat more donuts. Maybe that one her big. Oh, I should have tried to spend more time with her. Couldn't think of it. Who did she spend time with?
Well...
Yeah, she was a little bit strange. Didn't really hang out with the other girls much. But like she was trying to help her distant from us. Actually, Sakura did. Oh my god. Actually, Sakura did something similar. She said that even though you and her invited Chihiro, actually you see everything.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but you, and I wasn't jealous either. Like she stayed away from all the girls. Was she just shy? I don't know. She talked to the boys all the time. Isn't it kind of weird to be shy around your own sex, but totally fine with the opposite sex? Oh wait, maybe she well used to disguise boring. They all say you can't judge a book by a cover, right? You think so? I know it's all had to kind of go. Oh, yeah, kind of. But I do 2 boys actually. So that done here. So what? Oh. So I did the already we're doing 2 in a gym. Oh, this now I've been here already. Yeah, gym. Yep, anyway. You've been here, yeah. Oh, we've been to the archive in a library. Open the wall right there. Maybe we should set back to Toko. Look at the best solution. Yeah. There's Toko room. I should probably leave it alone for now. Should we now? Nice. Alright. Maybe. Well, I check everywhere, but I don't know. The warehouse, check the dining hall. Yeah, we checked there, I believe. I'm gonna jump back in the lights. Okay, I don't know. Which I've been put in here after all. Probably not. Oh, there's still more. Guess not. Oh, so I can't leave. Alright, so we need to check something out, I guess. Yeah, so doing that now. Oh, maybe. Oh, wow, I'm on a 1 coin from that though. Maybe the lap. Oh, the lap is gone. With the letter, will be a kind of stuff when she has school and more than we have. But the current game was very good. I mean, we're doing it to issue. But it's cool to from the first way, then you can actually be that. What happened to you now? That's my motive. You can figure out how you especially out here without being able to get out of here. Or the more to check out. Talking about the secret council and the kind of it's gone. Did someone take it out of the archive? The only one who would do that, like something like that. I can't think of anyone but Yakuza. Oh, so someone took the archive out. Alright. I still want to check out on it. The Destiny. I don't remember when to turn on. Oh, I see, not plug in. When I'm coordinated long enough to be silent for me. But I saw it, it was definitely on. And it was definitely right here. Oh, that might be Byakuya using an extension cord. But there's no extension cord here now. I wonder if library desk lamp added to 2 parts of the set. Alright, dude, we found out the goodies now.
I'm getting tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in? It's the moment you've all been waiting for! The class trial! You remember where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
Alright, I should try class trial beginning. To begin a class trial, or it's about to begin. The red door is right through there. Through here already. So is Ellen ready to what? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Yeah, Toko not here.
Huh?
And Toko is... You don't remember?
Come
Kitty, it's
on!
okay. I gotta forget that little nut job. See, it's a part of the class shots.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, I'll go ahead and drag it out here. Kick and screams at one more, please. And so that he said, a few minutes later, he reappeared dragging Toko behind him. God. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag the door. It's terrible. Coach, now I went here, right? Okay, then let's go on to the outfit and let's get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Just so we get going, it's time to find out who killed Chihiro. Chihiro Fudosaki. So it's simple. So calm and meek. Never had any problems with her. Someone made it a choice to kill. It go like that. And that murderer is one of us. Someone's standing right here. We have no choice, right? We have to do this.
It's true.
Yes. I give a small nod and reply with one last deep breath. Walk to the elevator on shaky legs. Each step forward, I can feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as the elevator was on, the elevator begins to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotion. Couldn't stop speculating. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sound deeper and deeper into the ground. I went deeper. The uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected. I went and continued to descend without hesitation until finally it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh and so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. We'll get this over with.
Very
Good.
nice.
You're willing to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it. No.
Well?
Get this show on the road.
Thrills, chills,
Come on,
kills!
please find your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate, a deadly class trial. Yes, I would like to save, so in case I lose. We are going to set some skills. We have another jail. Right? We have those two. All we have. Yep. Alright, cool. Find a preparation. Alright. Class trial. All rise. Alright.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
Before you let me clear what we usually load the fatal floor.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Shoot!
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No, that's wrong. Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? No, I have to non-stop debate. We'd like to hear more. Absolutely. But the debate lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reaction. Two boys with the spirit that hit these lines, so they give them an obscuring debate. But the way to keep the white noise from getting you away, press the right mouse button and attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, you soon actually remarkably use silencer instead of the white noise. The time level will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Oh, but if you actually difficulty set to just the white noise won't get at all. In which case you can forget about the silencer. Shift focus in the situation in front of you. I think good luck can happen. I don't know what difficulty set on. I thought I set my count down, so.
The culprit is Genocide Jack.
I'm sure of it.
Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong. I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Got a killer set every general shot case with the war at large done nut, if I'm not mistaken, had to do with the processing of the body. Is it had to fit the resistance with the method.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
The riddle was short, but I feel like I understand it. What it means to change the shot to be Toko, also to not be Toko. They said that, it's not so one person, but one people, right? Came in Gambit. Alright. So it is... and not S. It won't start S, will it? Oh, no. For the each eye. Maybe it does start with an S. It does, not with an R. Not start with maybe C. Oh, no. C. Oh, Z, near Z.
Now I understand. Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
The one thing I saw Toko had a split personality had to do with behavior.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine. What was that, a dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The wall had a front in the back, a top ending in the bottom. You see her tooth in the bevel eyes. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Won't let Genocide Jack have control. Out to drive out the killer, to drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep our promise, but don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control of it again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it, but...
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person you don't mean.
Today, Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Yes! What the heck?
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
She's so intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murder fiend, Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe she's really right about that, but there's something still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more detail about all of this. Maybe your argument. Statue of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi
matches completely.
No, that's wrong.
it.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
One clear difference between the murders and a photo from the other Genocide Jack case. Look at the neck and the stomach. You see a clear difference this time.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
Alright, the second one definitely related, so Perhaps it was spin it in the photo of the other Genocide Jack case. Although the photo was stabbed through the hands. Have you seen any clear difference? Or you just spin around the body was closed and she was suspended.
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. Well, partners trying to change the attack victim. She here with an fit it. You look at many fit them what you notice is. Hey, I think I heard out. I know why you should not kill Shio.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Kenhara do 2, Tenshiro Hano 17, Shoshigaku 23, Kano Issei 14, Takeshi Yoshida 30, Kamashino to Takafuni Ikono, Uchida Nuhia, Takeshi Masumo, Yudo Yamashita, no one to.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors.
Like, hold on. There's some Tums.
Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that? Da-da-da-da!
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
See, hold on. There is one person who could have copied the genocide Jack cases. Pretty cute, right?
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
In the locker room, very suspicious, very suspicious indeed when you agree. Suspicious. You know, but it's just the locker room. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
So with a clear contrast in what you actually said, I need to make it clear to everyone. And you haven't had the non-stop debate related to him one. Absolutely. Next we're going to add something called a tooth flashback. You aim at a weak spot and hold down the left mouth button. Then you memorize that weak spot. The memorized face is going to be shot once at a single tooth bullet. You change the tooth bullet, it will disappear from your tooth cylinder. However, you use the flashback feature at any time you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a liar competition and you load the truth bullets, might be wise to memorize the difference in weak spot. You have to make it your case. But the time for the flashback, you just have to use your key won't you? In that case, well. Though, I will say that if you don't use the flashback, you won't be used for doing anything. Well then, good luck and have fun.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So, of course, I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions.
But how do you know that?
What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Shoot!
The other way around.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was...
No, that's wrong! I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known...
I have a question. Can I change the quality again? I don't know what it's doing.
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What would be Byakuya's attitude? Like he doesn't even care. I got him in the corner, but he acting like he had nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The difference between this case and other Genocide Jack. Notice that everything I put with Byakuya is responsible. It's hidden in there. What could it be?
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors.
Yeah, actually last time.
And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
Yep, you sure do.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope
before in my life.
No, that's wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. He totally calm, totally unconcerned, as if he's not even involved. Wait, not even
What's
involved.
wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that shit now? Something not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean can I wish I said what Byakuya said out the truth? No, I don't think so. That definitely is something on what he just said.
I got it!
Seen the crime.
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey Byakuya, did I should take you off your guard? The story suddenly moved to the crime scene. Byakuya, you've been so confident to now. Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere
Hey!
else.
Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence showed the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys in the girls' locker room. That was pretty obvious what that is.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was removed. Yeah, with this,
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is right? Chihiro way I got into the boys' locker room now. Yeah, and let's go with the e-handbooks. Alright, book e-handbook, yep, nice.
Is it really possible?
Yes, it is.
Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
Oh, not that.
Shoot!
I have a little point this time.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about
Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong. No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook! The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring!
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya the one who did it, really? But still, I don't know what else.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait! Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We head off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was...
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom! What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands?
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Put your hands down and no peep, player. Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Chuck, I was staring wildly at Chihiro, lifeless body, massive flame trembled.
This girl is...
Is what?
Is a boy!
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
I think Chihiro was actually a guy. I thought I never crossed
And
my mind.
because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is a most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Ah, he's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if you have to get into it, then who the real killer? Who was Chihiro? The one thing we can be sure that the one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer were able to gain access to the real murder scene. The real murder scene, which means the killer, the guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boy handbook to get in. That Leon handbook is apparently broken. Killer had to use their own. In other words, it had to be a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. No, maybe I should bust it.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer.
And only the killer.
No, that's wrong. I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
What gotta keep going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Chihiro track jacket way holding the clue about the killer? Somehow, way hard to believe. Your argument. Celeste again.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the
Same blue tracksuit as him?
Sorry, but we didn't say
My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. 'Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it? First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing
The same blue tracksuit as him?
My tracksuit is black.
No, not good.
Shoot!
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise.
I did the way too. I feel like give it a key concentration. Hold on, I could what you spilled.
So next why did he choose?
What do you mean?
I got it! It matched the one.
So, the killer was wearing
The same blue tracksuit as him?
My tracksuit is black.
I don't, 'cause exercising.
I have a white
Tracksuit personally.
I got it from the
Did any of that really help us?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him.
I think I need it for when he said exercise.
First of all, we know which he was on his way to go exercise.
No.
Shoot!
W white tracksuit. Wait, oh.
First of all, he was on his way, so next week, why did he choose?
What do you mean this? I got it! It matched the one. So, the killer was
Wearing the same blue tracksuit.
Oh, okay.
No, that's wrong.
I totally think yes.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
I saw him stuffing a track check into a duffel bag, and then I assumed he had off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
But because I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility! Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
She stuffed the check into a bag in the hallway. The one where she was trying to hide it, and shit like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Yeah.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
The way you asked?
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You notice such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found on the ground, right? No, it belong to. It's either Mondo or Chihiro. No,
I got it!
The Mondo will have it.
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
I didn't handbook. Wait, that only one possibility that's missing.
I got it! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession,
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already! Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa! Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
About the handbook in the sauna. Had to be the one who where all the glows in the sauna was. It was Mondo.
Here's my answer! Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but if I should have it beyond a shadow of a doubt. If you look at your hand, she hear hands and play you.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Oh no, we're broken. Broken.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all!
Shoot! Let's test if what he said you broke your own hand.
In other words,
If Mondo's hand, then that proves.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just...
No, that's wrong. Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
so then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning?
Yep.
That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Alright, climate stuck again, huh? Shield getting double bash, that's what there, yep, so... Alright, hold on. Ah! Alright. I don't know about that one, though, alright. Excuse me. So, the double bash. So you will have open when that be on? We'll see. So so you need a card reader, right? But I'll put the door. Went to the door once. Use this to straight in to get in. So tried to shoot the kill switch around the carpet, I learned something else. Oh, alright, so yeah, that way he switched around. Supposed to, right? He switched around the right? Yeah. Yeah, so if you try to shoot the kill switch around the carpet, I lost a bit on it, so he switched around the poster. Went to that, boom, use the body, boom, the body. So it's in the other room, on. Went in, boom. On the cure to something from the other locker room and switched out the scene of the well, hold on, what in there? Wait, on, he put that. Then take it off. Then he went over here, boom, boom, and he put it right there. Probably what happened. Right here, Tokami saw. So you want to mess with the scene of the crime, but what it would that be able to go to the murder scene? It could have only been. It will probably be. Look, boom. So you could tie. Put up. Then light. Blood lust on the wall. Boom went out. Fire. Where did the kill go after they were done? They went to the sauna. That's the sauna, right? That's the sauna. Hopefully. So when the hand got thrown in the sauna, what happened to it? It broke. Boom.
Here's exactly what happened.
Hopefully, wait.
First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Yeah, I get it now. Oh, this one. There's something I want to have that you need to get into a locker room. Oh, so this one. What locker room did you go into? The room? So open it, right?
The killer is you! With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Oh, this one here. Oh.
Here's exactly what happened.
Yep.
With but how? Simple. Because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him.
What would it be then? I had the window to face some blood spot onto something, didn't it? Oh, that's splat onto the picture. Splat onto the picture. Oh, you gotta come over here. Dude, you tried to shoot the kill switch around the carpet. I will have something else. Yeah, with the poster, right? Boom, boom. Switch around the posters, right?
killer is you!
Hopefully.
And attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from.
Hopefully I was going to die after this.
It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster. And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course. But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated. So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Owada?
Complete.
Wait! No! This can't be right! Where's your evidence? Yeah! Where's your evidence? You need evidence! You need proof! Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him!
And that Mono the kill, that already feel the subway in the trial. Because so Mono hamburger right now, what I do that, everything will become clear. You have an anti-bullet tank that way like him one. Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about fever time and Nega time. During a bullet time battle, you press the space key. Fever time will activate and the tempo will be pushed to its max. The point even if you push the button at random, you won't miss. So you can push IMB, LMB, RMB, LMB, how you want to destroy the opponent for bullet assault. But this only lasts 3 full continuing rounds. So make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it won't be fair. Only you get access to special time, right? So we also prepare challenges so they call Nega time that your opponent can use. If your opponents activate Nega time during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will just fail, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the opponent and hit them. But in order to activate field time at this point, no, never mind. I'm just sure enough what happened. I don't know what about. I suppose if you actually difficulty is set to center, the opponent won't use Nega time. Well, then Gluck can have fun. Alright. The moment of truth. So I gotta put the paper.
Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! won't listen! False! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False!
Failed. I believe no one wanted to hear what I had to say. Oh, they were in the class position. I don't believe the doctor. What happened then?
Is...
Want to do another shot? Hell yeah.
I refuse to give up yet!
Do it now. Yeah, so stand. That's just all. The more true fight.
Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! I won't listen! False! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! I won't listen! False! You're corrupt! I refuse to vote! I refute you! Show me some evidence!
This should prove it! If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it. I killed him.
Cool, we saw A, B, L, A. Function A next on this page. So if I want to go...
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that!
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting! No holding on! Time for the moment we've all been waiting for! Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Want to go for it.
What?
Oh, that time it looked like you got it right again. Yes, yes it is so. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki Mono Water.
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not anonymous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to a danger zone, Mr. Isamaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way he would kill someone.
Sorry.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it?
Now then.
Oh wait, Mono taking a vow of silence. Something to explain on it.
Actually...
The story of the mother this time, it is a sad story of two. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you need to hit the control key to fast forward the text. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and the name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He heard things like that long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome a weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and bury himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as a way out. Nobody would be able to say anything about, even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up to the nutshell, the inferiority and complex had already taken root deep inside of him, and would not so easily weed it out. As it turned out, the cell was completely empty. The the complex than disappear. Instead, I want to get stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak, 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 weak.
Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, that water is a fight with the fittest. Even a strong don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma now still revealing the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro embarrassing secret, without more than willing to divulge. Even though he dressed like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
Now something Chihiro didn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that were revealed, it would be the end. The hardened cell would crack, the arm would fall away. Without doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured would be being trusted to set the limit must have sent him spelling into despair, and yet.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't really want to talk about it right now.
But
I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe we can talk about it later. After try our best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. And annoyingly, he used the dread of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
that's right.
Now a
I
chance.
want to change.
I want to get stronger, and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when people say, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay, I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to the immediate action. And so, that day he made a commitment to become an exercise hero, prepared to retrain his body, mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he wanted to?
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Yep, it sure was. The biker gang fella had been painfully cleared about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very similar to strong man that Chihiro had already aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it would help me, give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become stronger. That was his aspiration, and he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever become to come close to that.
Correct.
So then that might be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he made to Chihiro. Did what he did? You mean that why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boy locker room to the girl locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. But I have to go with what he did.
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real way to push with purpose, or to keep the bonds between man made to Chihiro. But I thought Spirit the party keep it secret.
Because
if everyone knew he had been killed in a boys' locker room, then we would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us could have immediately begun to suspect his identity. So he tried to protect Chihiro secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing her handbook. See? Then Mono did all of that to keep the promise he made to Chihiro, who he also killed. Why would he do that? The more I talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trust each other, right? So why did you? Because no matter what I didn't want to. Because no matter what I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
That what triggered it after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secret exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Never get I've been that bad. Something I didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing
You're
someone.
wrong!
And impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
My time when I repeat myself. Shut up by your own standard at the height of the folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, you obviously can. Down what there is to him. Well, while we on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, and so the hoodlums and riff raff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join the gang, first way would be cut up with searching someone. Mono older brother named was Daya Owada. Mono had nothing but respect for him. It was because of a Daya that Mono ever got on the motorcycle. Mono brother was his own only family growing up. He was the only one Mono could trust or respect. He wanted to match up to his big brother, so he intimidated him in everything he did. Mono was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle game and become anyone who knew it. It had grown into the biggest biker game in the country. Daya, the older brother, at #1 in the game, and #2 is Jennifer and Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. When Mondo started to think about how you will have to take over the game for the brother someday. Your brother greatness, your reputation became a gnaw on the face soul. The kid gotta take over for Daya, huh? Daya created a game with a bare hand monitor alone for the ride. Someone like that would be our leader. All I'll do is make the game look bad. Almost everything. Mono heard the cost of it, however, and whisper of the other members of the game. Whistle why? I gotta get stronger. I gotta get stronger. Stronger Daya. One time. No matter what.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And on the night of the amazing brother retirement, someone in Mono shot him to his street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed away with reckless abandon. He could book a three and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly, laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered the final words. My bad, kid. I fuck up soon. Sorry. Of course, he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. Hey, kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep this gang together, because it's a team you and me put together. It's a promise between man. He decided to hide the truth of what happened for everyone else in the gang, in order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother. He could never admit to anyone that it was their own weakness that had caused the accident. And on the result, the team were made even stronger under the banner of the kid who had bested his big brother. Daya was going to lose to a kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mono's lie that became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad, he was willing to tell the kind of lies about his brother.
I just...
Strong. Strong. And yet... As soon as killing game again, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was another weakling that could die in an instant. And then a lovely, the hateful Monokuma now story referring of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear that we had no problem setting lights on the secret. Mono killed his own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang member find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I've been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why Mono. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness. As the story was swirling around, I never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about him. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned something to a rock-hard lump inside, way down in my stomach, and it was right around that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him, and right there, he told me the secret. Seriously, Jesus.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Good, I mean, you kept the secret all the time, right? And we found out you would. You're right, but...
I want to change.
I want to change. Myself and lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. It was like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I've been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong. It can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You saying I should just say it?
What?
You saying if I really am, I should be able to tell everyone my secret? Huh? I was jealous. I was jealous to see Hiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I had never had. So I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you fucking with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. We are strong, Mono. I felt like he had something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What do you want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back and let my secret reveal and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Damn you!
Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I am strong. 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 Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch!
Stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying on my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand. I was just staring at him, down on the ground. Hey!
I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Mondo, you're normally so aggressive, so angry. You had that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. It really like that, living a height like this, and it turned into cold-blooded. God damn it. Look at him, you see? You always look like him. For a secret from the past for a memory. But that he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't have got fatally requests from the outside world. You don't know what true life is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Because I sure don't. You bastard. Just shut up, you son of a bitch. Go ahead, say that again. I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say that many times I want. It's what I want to say, but unfortunately, I can't stop right now because it's the time for punishing the fast approaching. Punishing?
It can't be.
You mean execution?
Well now.
That was promised, right? The Black Knight stole the piece where he punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
One more, no water. Throw them back in. Believe me. No, wait.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
I said wait.
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Nice. More Mono have been found guilty. Time for the punishment. The case of despair. No, wait, the case of death. Some mono butter, nice. Yankee free. Life would definitely so well be at peace. It can't be my brother. Another murder and another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I just let it happen. I tuck a sad scream and fade out of schools. We were each forced to realize once again, but he, of course he had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game. Byakura.
What is this?
You're pretty insane, you know that? A game? One of our friends is dead. Do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do. We are the game of life and
Hey.
death. I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have any response to
However,
that. I just don't understand why. Why do you go out your way to disguise mono crime?
What?
Why? It's not obvious because I made things more interesting. Your voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you annoyed the nighttime mood too. That will never matter to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room. This is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted a model coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I was beside a shelter corpse. What? You mean you actually witnessed the murder? Here's the fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
Well...
So, you say you knew who the couple was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed, but that happened at the end of it. I was born when that happened. I mean, what a waste of time to have to answer for right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to land over the helping hand. I thought it would lighten things up. You know that, too. I liven things
I
up.
see.
So having here by Genocide Jack from Toko decided to use that to create the fake murder scene.
But
Damn man, if we hadn't figured out who really done it, we would have been dead too, eh? The officer would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. A quiz. Byaku turned to and looked me in the eye. I could have sharp eyes pressing through me. Thanks to a sudden remark with someone, and now I did. I was able to pull my interest in the experiment. When
Interesting.
I decided to become blackened, I now knew who I actually watched out for. What?
Correct.
So that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Yes, we're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma.
What's this?
Oh, I'm up next.
You
like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is why? Woohoo, do you like them? But you know, this punishment is this despair, and not just for you. All the punishment, all the despair for my gift to mankind itself.
What?
You're over-exaggerating. I'm not over-exaggerating. The punishment meant to transfer all hope to despair.
Damn.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Mean?
What the heck?
Mean?
Damn it!
Good grief, I don't understand why you have to think apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone at the fifth good. It is everything will be revealed to me.
Ooh, how
Children
exciting!
don't understand me. I think this is sort of a terrifying friendship.
That's enough.
So I would never stoop to a level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I have achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find you until you understand.
In the name of my family.
In the name of the third Kami family, for which victory of the foregone.
You're getting all riled up!
Oh, so cool. Right, you the main character revealing him something. No try smile for you. I swear, what it takes, I will kill you. Woohoo, temper, shine some of the Nice. Monica laughed it. Pulled across the courtroom, and the curtain closed in the case of Chihiro and Mono. I knew that was the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. Although of us who was still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell, had more of a future than us. All our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now. So just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see. As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away!
Who is it? The 16th high school student.
Ooh, my, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied, because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
Chapter 2, Boys Like Despair. The end. Nice. Chapter 2. So good. 10 surviving students left. Do we continue? We should increase time person. Alrighty, well, that we're gonna do today. We can't. Spoiler alert. Alrighty. Anyway, that's all we'll be doing today. And I'll see you next time on next stream, probably tomorrow. Fight on about